Welcome to our latest video about Amber Heard, the actress with a complicated story. In recent news, CCTV footage showed her husband Johnny Depp apparently being assaulted. It's a tale of Hollywood drama, powerful stars, and potentially serious implications for their divorce proceedings. Let's dive in to find out what this could mean for them both. The defense team for Johnny Depp showed a video in court on Friday that they claim proves Amber Heard assaulted Whitney Henriques, her sister. The video was presented as evidence before London's Royal Courts of Justice on the 14th day of Depp's libel case against the Sun newspaper's publisher. Depp, who was married to Heard from 2015 to 2017, is suing Newscrew newspapers and writer Dan Wootton for calling him a wife abuser in a piece published on the Sun's website. The video, which was heard in court for the first time on Friday, is thought to have come from a reality TV program recording from either 2006 or 2007. An unidentified source provided the tape to Depp's staff overnight, and they think it originated from a previously unaired episode of the program. We see pretty clearly from that video not only that Ms. Amber Heard physically assaulted her sister, but it's also quite evident that the injuries that were sustained by Ms. Whitney Heard are being inspected by the person we see in the camera. Depp's attorney David Sherborne said, "There is no denying that Ms. Whitney Heard was injured and that Ms. Amber Heard assaulted her. You'll see Whitney Heard letting these wounds show. It is very plainly stated that everyone in attendance was aware that Amber Heard had assaulted Whitney Heard. She merely states that she doesn't want to discuss it. She doesn't dispute it." Henriques said during cross-examination concerning the video, "First of all, it was an extremely horrible reality program. We were talking about a verbal fight my sister and I had." Before the cameras began filming, Depp's lawyer questioned her whether she had mentioned a conflict with her sister to a friend. "I did not discuss anything more than a verbal fight with my pals off camera," she said in response. "That individual is implying that I was talking about a physical fight, but I was only trying to make a plot, even a lousy one, fascinating," I said. "She was attempting to build a narrative and plot that wasn't there," she continued. "She was attempting to liven up a discussion that was rather dull. I had no desire in putting a dispute with my sister, a verbal quarrel with my sister, a personal problem at the moment, on television," Henriques said, adding that her companion had not mentioned marks on my face. "That didn't interest me." According to Sherborne, "We were contacted to explain that Ms. Amber Heard had a history of violence and attacking people, and that the video of her sister Whitney that was attached was taken shortly after Amber Heard had attacked her, and that Ms. Whitney was filmed with people commenting on the bruises on her face and body." The Sun's attorney, Sasha Wass, called the video meaningless. "This is an undated bit of video footage under what looked to be reality TV show conditions, which is frivolous, most definitely not serious. This is a playful conversation. There is no proof of any injuries, and it won't advance the situation. All we know so far are the conditions in which it is shot," Sherborne stated. "It's true that it was captured on camera for what we believe to be a television show, but the video your lord the judge watches was not intended for broadcast. It is the rushes. It is not scripted. There is absolutely nothing humorous about my contribution. It is quite evident that two of those in attendance are aware that Ms. Amber Heard beat Ms. Whitney Heard." The trial's testimony came to a conclusion on Friday. She doesn't dispute anything. She just says she doesn't want to speak about it. On Monday and Tuesday, there will be closing remarks, and sometime after that, the verdict. Heard, who wed Depp in 2015 after meeting him in 2011 on the set of The Rum Diary, testified about a number of alleged physical abuse incidents that occurred before and during their union. She claimed that Depp's violent outbursts were typically brought on by a combination of alcohol, drugs, and jealousy. Depp disavows ever using physical force towards Heard or any other woman. She recalled that he slapped her 3 times one day after she laughed at one of his tattoos in 2013 as the first instance of physical abuse. Heard remarked, "I'll never forget that. My life was altered by it." Heard described instances in which Depp reportedly slapped her, flung her to the ground, grabbed her by the hair, shoved her up against a wall, head-butted her, and hurled things at her, including drinking glasses and a smartphone, during her testimony regarding several other violent assaults. Heard's attorneys presented evidence that they said supported her accusations, including smartphone pictures of Heard with facial injuries, messages Depp sent that included profanity, and an audio tape of Heard ostensibly asking with him to put down a knife. Without offering any proof, Depp's attorneys claimed that the pictures were altered. An expert witness used by Depp's legal team, Brian Neumeister, stated that embedded data revealed certain photographs had been edited and sorted using an Apple program. 3 images that looked to be the same, he observed, were in reality of various sizes. He didn't say if he thought they had been changed on purpose. Neumeister had neither a degree nor any certificates in computer technology, according to Heard's lawyers, who also pointed out that the program is also used to store pictures. Depp said that he has never attacked a woman in questioning portions of Heard's evidence. Depp claimed that Heard assaulted him and that they may have accidentally clashed heads when he was trying to detain her in reaction to the headbutting allegation. Witnesses who claimed to have seen Heard with injuries on her body, but who claimed to not have been there when the alleged injuries were inflicted, testified at the trial as well. For instance, Heard's former makeup artist claimed that she covered up the actor's bruises and split lip before to a 2015 talk show appearance. The trial's vast scope of evidence, according to Limer Modiahizad, a family law lawyer in Los Angeles who updates her more than 447,000 TikTok followers on the proceedings, was persuasive, and Savalos, the NBC News commentator, concurred. Depp depicted Heard as the aggressor in their relationship and the one who provoked arguments that sometimes escalated into violent altercations in his testimony. He said she treated him poorly and acted out of a thirst for confrontation by calling him names. It could start with a smack. It could start with a push. It may start with tossing a champagne glass in my face or a TV remote at my head, Depp remarked. It's difficult to understand, but the disagreement would begin here before spiraling out of control, the man stated. You'd return to the start. It's intensified much more at this point and is still round. There is no exit or entry. Depp, who testified that Heard also engaged in heavy drinking, said that he turned to drugs and alcohol as a method to deal mentally with Heard's alleged abuse. Depp also said in court that he started using his mother's nerve medicines at the age of 11 in an effort to escape the chaotic nature of the alleged abuse. Depp's legal team provided audio from the couple's disputes as evidence, along with other items. Heard seems to acknowledge hitting Depp in one audio clip, while claiming that she really struck him. Heard says, "Tell folks it was a fair fight and see what the jury and judge think in another tape. Johnny, tell the world. See if people believe you or take your side when you say, I, Johnny Depp, I'm a victim too of domestic abuse, and it was a fair battle." Heard said in court that she only hit Depp in self-defense and to defend her sister Whitney Henriquez. The actor's security team, his sister, a forensic psychologist they hired, and a marital counselor who performed their sessions while they were still a couple were among the witnesses called by Depp's lawyers. The marital therapist, Laurel Anderson, claimed to have seen mutual abuse taking on in the union. Although Depp's security crew said they never saw him attack Heard, they did admit that their relationship was tense in court. The usage of mutual abuse, a contentious idea among domestic violence specialists, was not beneficial for Depp's argument, according to Modiahizad, since if it were true, Amber Heard would have been in an abusive relationship. She may have been the aggressor, but she was still one of two. Therefore, she can still say what she said in the Washington Post, even if she was just one part of it. To close off this video, it's really a no-brainer to say that the future doesn't look so bright for Amber Heard. Not only has she been criminally charged and facing jail time for her alleged assault of Johnny Depp, but now we have video footage to shed light on the grain of truth behind her claims. So tune in next week as further revelations from this unfortunate situation continue to make headlines and see how it all plays out.